Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Cooped Up, Captive, and Bored Out of Your Mind. I promised after the last couple of stories that I would lighten things up a bit, and I will. But first, a public service announcement from the veterinary side. It would seem that the coronavirus-induced lifestyle alterations have resulted in some changes in behavior and potentially observations. I have fielded more questions about dogs' penises in the past 3 weeks than I have in 25 years of practice before that. To that end, in order to be tactful and correct, a piece of semantics that was taught to me by Professor Harry Reynolds at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine, that is that the adjective for pus is purulent. That said, if you should perchance notice a small bit of purulent discharge in the vicinity of the tip of your dog's penis, it's probably perfectly normal. Signs that would be a problem is if he would be asking to go out more frequently, straining to urinate, or licking even more than normal. If you have questions, feel free to give us a call or even email us a photograph. Yes, I have received a multitude of photographs of dogs in a most uncompromising position, so we're here to help if we can. So, to the story. This story takes us to the University of Illinois, 1985. It was the night before Farm Aid 1, and I was at that concert, but sadly, not with the date that I had hoped for, and here's a story of how I ended up not getting the date that I had hoped for. It may be hard to wrap your head around the fact that I have not always been this strapping hunk of masculinity that you all know today. As a matter of fact, in 8th grade, I was unceremoniously escorted from the cafeteria at Thomas Jefferson Junior High School by the assistant principal. I had thrown my lunch at Rosina Butler because she called me Chef Salad Hair. And I'm here to tell you the truth hurt. Things didn't get much better in high school, and I arrived at the University of Illinois August of 1983. Bell-bottom jeans, 6'3", 167 pounds, and that red mop on my head. I look like the illegitimate love child of Carrot Top and Ronald McDonald. An ag major, or a biology major, they assigned me to the Illinois Street Residence Hall, squarely in the middle of the engineering campus. So my first friends and roommates at the University of Illinois would eventually go on to be rocket scientists, anesthesiologists. One guy helped write Google. But 37 years ago, we were card-carrying nerds. On the other side of campus was Becky Bull. Becky was the outgoing president of her high school FFA chapter, Macon County, Illinois' fairest of the fair. She had a warm smile, as warm as a July sunrise. I would ride my bike all the way across campus just to watch her walk past. She was in my bio and my chemistry 101 classes, but on a campus with 30,000 undergrads and lecture halls the size of the Barrymore Theater, she was always just over there. After we got done watching the Dukes of Hazzard, the nerds and I would herd down to the cafeteria, and I would report a Becky Bull sighting as if I had seen Linda Ronstadt. So, Christmas break, freshman year, I went home, and my buddy Dave Randolph talked me into going to the gym and taught me about lifting weights. Hanging over the top of me, spotting, "You got this, Willie, you got this. This is all you, man, this is all you." I think I could probably bench press 95 pounds. And so it went. Back in school, second semester, freshman year, college Spanish was kicking my butt, so I had to transfer from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences to agriculture. Proximity to Becky Bull was purely coincidental, although she did show up in my soils and agronomy classes. My ratio of exposure went from 1 in 1,200 to 1 in 35, which did nothing for my chances because I still didn't have the guts to so much as talk to that woman. So by my second summer on campus, I had accumulated 2 years of farm cred and shoulders working on the University of Illinois Swine Research Farm. My World War II veteran barber Wes Gillespie talked me into a military haircut, and I moved out of the dorms. My roommates, Jay Walker, Buzzard, and Matt Quirk and I, we were still nerds, but we listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan, Hank Williams Jr. We had some ass-kicking parties. So by my junior year, I had myself a brand. Flat-top haircut, flannel shirts, Red Wing work boots. I had a weekly slot on the campus public radio station, and I could bench press 275 pounds. So when Becky Bull showed up in my meat, animal, and beef production class, it was time to make my move. We were assigned to do calf check, make sure that all the cows and the calves were doing okay and there weren't any cows in dystocia straining to have a calf. We were assigned the night of September the 21st, 1985. It was the night before Farm Aid 1. So we met at midnight at the South Farms in a 45-degree driving rain. She was in a 1-ton diesel fire engine red Ford pickup truck with floodlights. I was in my grandma's 1974 Plymouth Valiant. But I was 10 feet tall, bulletproof, and unfazed. We combed every square inch of that 5-acre paddock. All the cows and all the calves were doing just fine. I assumed that if we were going to have any trouble, it would be in the lean-to at the end of the paddock, so we saved that for last. I stepped under the overhang. My glasses immediately fogged. I hiked them down on my nose and turned to my left, and there was Becky Bull. The rain had melded her Levi's to her backside, puffy coat, seed cap on backwards, her hair tucked behind her ears except for one rogue lock that meandered across her chiseled cheek to the corner of her mouth. Neon smile and aqua green eyes, she shone like a cafe sign to a road-weary trucker. I stepped in to make my move, love-struck and oblivious. I was going to offer her a warm spot and a ticket to see Waylon and Willie and Johnny Cash the next day, unbeknownst to the fact that I stepped between cow number 212 and the calf she had just given birth to. I remember a white flash by my hip. She took one step, buried her head in my hip, and launched me like a beach ball at a Jimmy Buffett concert. Mid-flight, it occurred to me that I had better reassign my focus from Becky Bull's backside to looking for a handhold on the wall so as I could avoid round 2. I found a 6x6, 5 foot in the air, and I clung like a redneck Spider-Man, scrambling for a foothold. Down below, that bull bawled like a Pamplona, or that cow bawled like a Pamplona bull. Becky, on the other hand, like it was just any other Saturday night, she raised her hands, sounded like Aretha Franklin. "Come on now, cows, get on out of here and let that poor boy down off the wall." Once it was clear, I slithered down off the wall, trying to figure out how I could segue this into a date with Becky. Never did recover enough cred to ask that woman out. Probably all the better. She's still living in Indiana with her husband and 3 kids, and I wouldn't trade my wife for anybody. So, if all else fails, keep something moving forward.